So hello adventurers and welcome to a club. Today I want to show you this little emergency candle I have made. We got a wood lid on a tin can, and the can is actually, it used to be a tuna can. So I kept the can after eating the tuna and upcycled it. I think that's what they say. Yeah, the lid is made out of wood, and I gave it a bit of a little camo painting, my own pattern, to make it look nice. And now let's dig right into it. Let's pop it open. We have a lid with this little wire on it to pull it out, and this wedges in very tight, so this doesn't come loose. So, and in here we find some items. Dextrose plus vitamin C, 2 pills. It's like an emergency candy in an emergency candle. We got some loosely folded tin foil, mainly to make a windshade for it, but also for cooking something. And it is loosely folded because aluminium foil tends to grease if you fold it too hard, that it gets little holes and is useless. And now to the main attraction, the candle itself. In here we got a little self-made book of matches. Striker at the back, and as you see, 5 matches. I do like matches more than lighters because they usually fail, like this cheap one here. It's pain to get it lit. I see it sparks, but somehow it doesn't really like to work. Yeah. The way I made it is actually quite simple. I took 3 of those 8-hour tea light candles, and then I put real good old wax over it. It looks a bit sloppy, but that's the first version. The next one I will use a bit more wax, as it attempts to compress a bit when cooling down. But yeah, this is actually giving up a lot of heat. Today I have really problems talking. I probably have a little cold here. The heater has failed, and so yeah. Yeah. Now let me start this one here, trying to get it lit with this cheap lighter. That's a terrible thing. Come on. That's why I hate lighters. Yeah, now let me get this lid here. And there we go. Oh, it's giving up a lot of heat. Oh yeah, this is nice. Especially here in the cold. Yeah, this is a perfect little thing to keep your tent warm enough to not die. And it will even help if the light in your apartment has failed. Let me get the exposure a bit down here. Doesn't this look great? Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is actually hot enough to cook. So if you take another can and put it on top here, this works very well. So now let me show you how this works. We got this another tuna can with the bottom removed. We put it on here. Then this one comes on top, and in here the pot goes. And that's the spoon. Yeah. This way you can use it to cook in a real little pot. If you don't want to use the pot, yeah, just use this part here. Perfect for boiling an egg or something like this. And yeah, this actually here is also quite useful if you are in a tent or something, because it gives it a bit of a wind protection. Oh, getting hot. Getting really hot. Yeah. This is my self-made DIY tuna can emergency candle. It will burn for quite a while. Ah, getting hot pretty fast. Yeah. That's a really neat little thing. So, now let me blow it out. And of course, if you want to use it for a longer time, light just one of the wicks. That's always an option. And if you're finished, just let it cool down and put the lid back on it. And it's good to go. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's something new, and I have never seen anyone else use one of those tuna cans for something like this. And yeah, let me know how you like the idea with the wood lid for it. I mean, this is tight. This is really sealing it up. Yeah. Yeah, that's getting there. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and if it was so, leave me a like, leave me a comment. I love to read the comments. And yeah, if you have liked it and left a comment, well, then why not just join the club and become a channel member. Okay, I see you next time in the next video, and I hope then I am able to speak again without a scratchy voice. Okay, and don't forget, never trust a cheap lighter, always have redundancy. So, and now the part you all love. That's the talking part I just add on to get a thumbnail for YouTube. Well, now let me explain you why I have built this candle. I live in an old apartment, pre-World War II. The house is in a miserable shape, but it got rent control, so I'm only paying $400 a month. Yeah. And yeah, in this old house, sometimes the heater fails. Actually, most of the time. Yeah, that's why I came up with this candle. Because if you buy a candle like this, a similar one, on Amazon, you pay about $12. And they are all at least $10. So, what this candle cost me? Well, even if I include buying the tuna can and eating it, it was about, well, $2 to $3. So yeah, I used recycled wax from other old candles, molded it down and put it in. 3 little 8-hour tea light candles, a big bag for about $6, and yeah, a nice delicious can of tuna. The only thing I did buy was the wood for the handle, for the lid, not for the handle. The handle is made out of a piece of wire that I actually got for free, so yeah, it's very cheap, and the heat it produces is really nice. If you have, let's say, about 3 of those candles, it will really help keep your apartment or your house warm. If you're in a small tent, even one of those little candles will do the trick and help prevent you from getting frostbite. Yeah, I think this is a really good thing. And another thing about these candles is I just made this video because I wanted you to build your own, to be able to build your own and get inspired by it. Because if you have the can and you have the wax, it is always good to have such a candle somewhere stored away. Put the book of matches in it and just forget about it. And if you ever need it, if your heater fails or you don't know what happens, you still have this candle. But this candle isn't actually just good for emergencies. When I go out hiking, especially in the cold time of the year, I always put one of them into my backpack because it is just such a nice, easy to use heat source. And it is comparable, also quite safe if you compare it with something like an alcohol stove. That could always some accident happen. But I still recommend you, if you use it inside, don't use too much of them, or you need a carbon dioxide meter so you don't get suffocated. And always put a candle onto a flame-proof surface. I mean, sure, it is in a can, but the can will get hot, and so you may or may not damage the surface you put it on. So keep that in mind if you use it. If you play with fire, try to play safe. Yeah, and another thing I wanted to talk about is the additional stove top I have made for it. It is working really very good, but with the 3 candles, of course, it needs a while to warm up water, especially if the water is ice cold like it is right now here. But yeah, it works, and it works good. And the top for the stove I have used here is also used on my alcohol stove. I will make a video about in the future. Another thing to note is, if you live in a house and the heater fails, electricity breakout or something, you can always put one of those candles just into your bathroom to keep your pipes from freezing. This is also a thing that really works well. It is just enough heat so the water doesn't get too cold. Another trick is, if your electricity fails and you have no way to heat, just leave the tap open a bit. Running water doesn't freeze, and this is a nice little hack to keep your pipes from, well, exploding. So think about this when the next time blackout comes. Oh man. I really should write a script for this, but I'm not sure if any one of you is really watching this video up to this point. But hey, if you are watching till this point and you haven't fallen asleep yet, well, why don't you just give me a like and write me in the comments that you have actually watched the whole thing. I mean, I doubt it, but it would be nice if someone takes the time to watch the whole video. And so, yeah, keep in mind, it is always good to have something in case of an emergency, and always have redundancy. Don't just have the matches, don't just have the lighter, have the matches and the lighter. You never know what fails.